Good evening, beard strugglers. Today I wanted to write an article on how to maintain your beard. Just wanted to, kind of put some background to it. No shave November, it came and went. That's when you started growing your beard. Then the new year came, a new look, a new outlook on your beard. Now we're about 3/4 of the way, maybe 2/3 of the way through April, and by now you probably have a beard that's about maybe this long if you haven't trimmed it or not. And you're probably wondering, how in the hell are you going to maintain this? Now, and I've noticed you ask your friends and whatnot, and it's almost like it's the mob, like seriously, because they're like, they know a guy who talked to a guy who has a girlfriend, who has a brother, who may have known a guy that heard something about a beard, a guy who had a beard, but now it's shaved, so, you don't really know if he had a good beard. And that's just the kind of the way it goes. It's all like tips of the, tricks of the trade and whatnot, and you're just wondering how it is. And you don't have all the time during the day to sit there and scour the four corners of the internet trying to find the end of it, just to find out how to maintain your beard. You got things you're gonna do. You got to do that day. You got a job, got kids, probably a significant or insignificant other, depending on whatever your situation is. Not my business, but and you're just like, man, I don't have the time for this. Well, you know what? Part of my job, writing articles for the beard struggle, is to do that work for you. I spend the time. I'm a web developer, so I know how best to utilize search engines and whatnot to bring you the best of beards and what to do with them. And I'm going to give you a few key little facts, and let me go ahead and pull them up for you here real fast. See if I can bring it to your attention here. So step one, obviously, is you got to grow a beard. All right, now I know this kind of goes without saying, but there are some cliches, or not cliches, I should say. There are some misconceptions about how long a beard is when it's a beard. Now, I took the time today to actually create a little growth chart for you, basically going from clean shaven to full beard. And I also added that to the article so you guys will have a little reference to go off of. Now, there's actually technically four categories, but I threw in a fifth one because it seems to be pretty popular nowadays. But we're going to go ahead and go through them. The first step is obviously no growth or clean shaven. The second step is your 5 o'clock shadow. This is where your beard closely resembles fine grit sandpaper. Maybe coarse grit if it's usually like a couple days, but then it'll eventually get to fine grit sandpaper. You know what I mean? You might be able to grab a board, rub it against your chin, and probably whittle some wood out of it. But that's about your 5 o'clock shadow to your first 1 to 2 weeks. Then it goes into scruff. Now scruff can technically be considered a beard, but it's not maintainable yet. It's at that stage where, if you're like me when I first started growing mine, it's kind of fluffy and not really manageable. I mean, you could do some stuff with it, but I mean, it's still important to take care of it at this point because, what you do now builds a foundation for later on, and bad foundation equals bad beard. That goes without saying. But then, and that's about your 2 to 4 week mark. Now, some guys, they're going to be, they may grow hair slower. They may have barely hit puberty yet. The list goes on. Or they just may not be able to grow a full beard. But I'm talking for the majority of the guys out there that have these full beards. And I'll cover the ones who have a hard time growing a beard in another article, help you guys out a little bit. But then about 2 to 4 weeks, maybe 5 to 6, you'll start to notice that you have somewhat resemblance of a beard. And like I said, that's going to be about your 5 to 10 weeks worth of growth. Now, the fifth one I added in there because it seems to be popular. They're called yeards, where it's basically beards with a Y because it's a 1 year beard. Obviously that's 52 weeks or 1 year, goes without saying, 52 weeks in a year, so on and so forth. Now that you actually have an understanding of that, and like I said, this is my personal, based off of my beard and some of my friends' beards. Your beards may be different, and if they are, hey, comment on the post that's on the Beard Struggle, or you can comment on the article that I published on the Beard Struggle's website. and let me know what you think. You know what I mean? I'd like to hear you guys' feedback on that. But we're going to go ahead and move right along to the next section, which is pulled up here. It's making a liar out of me right now. Stand by. Technical difficulties. I'm trying to do this one-handed, guys, so bear with me here. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. Alright, so next we're going to talk about keeping your beard trimmed. Alright. Now, it is important. It may vary from beard to beard. Obviously, everybody's beard is different, just like, you know, everybody's personalities. But regardless, you will need to either A, book a barber, or B, do it yourself. Now, when you're going for a barber, best advice I can give you is talk to some of your bearded brethren that you live around or that you work with or you're close friends with, and you know, ask them where they get theirs done. And my best advice I can give you as far as that is that a barber is not the same as somebody who can trim a beard. Some barbers are really good at cutting hair. Some barbers are really good at cutting beards. Find the one that can cut beards. Don't settle, because you know, you took the time to sculpt this masterpiece. Don't just let anybody touch it. I mean, you know some of the tricks of the trade, you know what's right and what's wrong. Now I can go ahead and give you some tips on that, on things to, you know, things to do, but that part I'm going to cover in, you know, when you do want to do it yourself. I mean, these can still work. If you got a barber that looks like, you know, he's about to do a hack job on you, run. It's like, seriously, run, because what he doesn't know how to do will take you 5 to 6 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 months to grow back. So, like I said, don't settle. Now, if you plan on doing it yourself, there's a myriad of YouTube videos out there you can do, like, you know, I did, and, you know, and learn and watch videos, watch many videos on, you know, best tips and tricks and techniques on how to trim your beard the proper way. A couple key things I can advise to you guys is 1, take your time. 2, style first, then cut. All right, you know, you want to get it, you want to set it out how you would normally wear it, right? Like you're going to walk out the door to start your day. 3rd, do not, and I repeat, do not cut it wet. The reason why I say this, yeah, it may be easier to trim it and whatnot, but the reason why I say this is because it's important. When you wet your beard, it gets heavy. And when it gets heavy, it will all lay flat. However, just like everything else that you put into a pool of water, it will shrink. With that said, when it dries, it'll shrink up, and what you look straight when it was wet now looks like, I don't know, some, you know, two-toothed wonder out there, because it's going to be jagged as hell. It's going to look like a rock face. You know what I mean? So do not cut it wet. And last but not least, if in fact you do make a mistake, walk away. Seriously, walk away. Chances are you're going to be the only one that notices that you made a mistake. Let it go. Start again later on, or another day. Give it a chance to grow back out, and then try it again. Remember, you are your own worst critic when it comes to that stuff. So you're going to judge it a lot harder than most people who are going to be 3 to 4, maybe 7 to 10 feet away from you at most. They're not going to be looking that close. You're the only one who's got your chin almost up to the glass on the mirror in the bathroom with a pair of scissors, all right? Now, with that said, let's move on to our little next section here. Now, another thing I can recommend to you guys is have a nighttime regimen. I called it your nighttime beard. The reason why is that when your beard is dry, it's going to get damaged. You don't ever want to keep your beard dry. If it starts to get dry, that's why the Beard Struggle has this regimen where you have this night tonic and you have this, you know, this day elixir tonic. The balm is for the morning, obviously. And, you know, because you guys have all read the cards if you've bought Beard Struggle stuff. If you actually took the time to read the cards, it has a regimen. You put the balm in the morning. You put the day tonic in about midday when your beard's feeling a little bit dry. That should get you to the rest of the day. And then right before you go to bed, make sure you put in the night tonic. That'll keep it hydrated. You always want to keep it hydrated because when it gets dry, it'll get brittle. When it gets brittle, it'll crack. That's where you get your split ends, your dead ends, and your damaged hair. All right? So, like I said, Beard Struggle's got some great products out there. I wouldn't recommend it if I hadn't tried it myself. I mean, I've been using their stuff now for about 2 to 2.5 years, and it's shiny. Right now, like this is, because I didn't wash it this morning, so it's got that bed beard that I couldn't quite get that kink out. But like I said, when you wash it, you can usually get that out, but you can see how shiny it is. You know what I mean? That's not because I have a lot of oil in there. I barely put any stuff in here. It's because it's that healthy. The stuff is that good. So take my advice. I bought everything else. Just use the Beard Struggle. You guys may have bought it and might not like it. You might like their articles, and that's fine too. I get it. It's not for everybody, but majority of people, I can almost guarantee, will love this stuff. All right, it works. It's worth the price. You get what you pay for. I promise you. Everything that they use is all natural ingredients, and they actually put the time to master these recipes. Excuse me, guys. My dogs are out there barking at something. I apologize. Now, with that said, since we're talking about washing it and everything else, that brings me to the next part of this article, which is shampoo the grime away. Get that gunk and that funk out your beard. Now, there are pieces of this that, will actually be beneficial to you. The great thing about shampooing and washing your beard is that it'll get all the gunk away. It'll also clean out the pores. It'll also, your skin, your hair has scales on it, and it'll spread out. And that's why whenever you get out of the shower, excuse me guys, give me a quick second here, I apologize again. My apologies for that. Now, with that said, when you get out of the shower, you guys are going to think this is dumb. It's already, your hair is already moist, but water is not the same as oil. It will dry faster than oil, and it won't keep it lubricated. So, and then what will happen is once it dries, when I said it dries out, it gets damaged. The best thing I can tell you is that put in your oil after you get out of the shower. So let's say you get in the shower at night before you go to bed. That's the perfect time to put in that night tonic that the Beard Struggle has, because that stuff right there is thicker, and it'll keep the moisture in all night long. And plus, since your pores are open and the scales on your hair are kind of spread out, it'll get inside of the hair and coat the inside as well as the outside and keep it moist and healthy. And it'll get into your pores and it'll make it softer and supple. I mean, I can sit there and bore you guys with the details about how, omega-3s and omega-6s, the LAs versus the NLAs, and what your skin can actually digest and utilize. But I already wrote an article about that. It's called, Beard Science, basically, a scientific approach to your beard. You guys can look at that and bore yourselves to death with the scientific details that are incorporated with that. Now, last but not least, is make sure you guys have some good tools, okay? Make sure you guys got some good scissors, okay? Beard Struggle sells the stuff. They spend a lot of time, perfecting these and designing these scissors to be specifically worth, using it on your beard. So, I mean, like I said, you can go out to the store and buy some whatever scissors from whatever place, but you may not get as good a quality, and you may actually get good quality. It just depends. But get some good tools. Get a good brush. Usually a boar hair brush that'll keep it nice and supple and soft, and it'll keep some of those hairs down. Then get a nice brush and a nice comb, and set yourselves up right for success. Don't half-ass it. I can't stress that enough, guys. Just don't do it. You're gonna end up damaging your beard. You're gonna get mad, and you spend all that time trying to sculpt that beard for nothing. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this article. Please comment below. Like I said, I wanted to put a poll out there. Give me your guys' feedbacks on what you think is what stages a beard would be at for obviously clean shaven is 0. But how long you think scruff is before it actually turns into a beard, how long you think your beard should be before it actually is considered a beard. And we obviously know about the yeard. That's a 1-year beard. You know, it took you a year to grow it, so wherever it's at a year, that's your yeard. Some guys will have magnificently 6-foot long beards. Some guys will have 3-inch beards. Just depends. All right. Genetics is obviously a factor. So, like I said, comment below, comment on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you guys. Until next time, beard on, beard strugglers.